real quick if everybody's here. Just highlights on the regular agenda. So that would be the approval of the regular minutes of the May 26th and the work session minutes. Any objection to those? Hearing none, we'll go on. Approval of today's regular agenda. Obviously, we will add the Juneteenth proclamation, and that will be item 2A for the lack of, or 2B for the lack of a better word. And Ms. Dorothy will actually read that. And then we have Ms. Knight with the sickle cell proclamation. Did we ever get the video that you were requesting?
We did not, but I would like to post it on the City of Morrow website.
That's fine. Is it not?
Mayor, if I may, for the proclamations, there'll be 3A and 3B. That's how we'll number them.
And Ms. Renee will, Ms. Knight will read that proclamation. Item number 4, to execute an agreement with Bolden and Jenkins, which is basically the city's auditor. Per our discussions before, we've got a new team, correct, Angela?
Yes.
New team. And there's some savings there in terms of what we had from last year. So that's pretty normal. Any issues with that item? Okay. 5, this one you might want to pay attention to a little bit, and that's where there were some slight changes on the employee vision, dental, life insurance, and Sun Life Financial.
Yes, instead of MetLife for a portion of that, it will all, our recommendation is that we go with all Sun Life for vision, dental, short-term, and life insurance. And the spreadsheet that I emailed out today and put on Dropbox, but I do want to be clear, the savings is really only about $2,000, but it is a $2,000 savings.
And for those who don't have the spreadsheet, anybody need to see that, or is there any questions related to it? So the recommendation goes from MetLife to Sun Life Financial for all of the above, right? Correct? Any questions?
Sun Life, not Met.
Correct.
Okay, so, yes.
And it's a AAA credit rating company and all the other stuff, right? I mean, we checked them out, so they didn't just like show up yesterday.
No, and we are in part covered by them already.
Okay. All right. And then selection of a sanitation service provider. We've obviously had lots of discussions about sanitation, and we had some updates as to some pricing for the condominiums. And there's still some debate with South Lake, but the point being is it looks like it's manageable. So, you know, we obviously had 3 proposals. I know many of you have had a chance to look at those. We've got our pencil out and made some adjustments that I think are helpful to others. But we need to now make a choice and head into some type of contract negotiation with one of them. So without saying whatever your preference is, and any other questions that may be asked.
I have a question.
Yes.
Regarding the condominiums and the agreement.
Okay.
How is that gonna work? Have we spoken with the homeowner?
Yeah, so,
Market management company?
we have spoken with Northridge and with Woodstone, and if you remember at the last meeting, we talked about how Woodstone has a 3-year contract, 1 year left on the contract, and I believe it's the will of the council to allow them to work through that final year. Northridge, Miss Orton, she explained that they don't have a contract, that they just do it through the HOA. We never got a specific answer on how much they're charged, because I explained to her, we want to know, because we want to make sure it's not, it's not totally out of whack with what we intend to charge. But I never got an answer about that. But in terms of, it would still be the same style, still the same number of times a week. They wouldn't have to get a dumpster on site. The resident would still put out the bags, unlimited number of bags, but no bulk item, because of course the city would be doing that anyway. So.
And it did appear that Woodstown, for what they're charging versus what we potentially would be charging, that it was a cost.
Just a slight saving to every resident there.
So you think if it's a savings on one side, hopefully we'd have a savings on the other.
And the mall, we just never got any information, but as our providers said, it was like, the bottom line is it's going to be priced in line with the commercial pricing. So nobody foresaw it to be an issue. It's just the contract details that we'll have to work out.
And just remember, when we're talking numbers, you know, these are set numbers. In other words, this is what it actually costs us.
Right.
So we have a small administrative markup to be able to do business. And we have those today. But right now, we're just negotiating with the contractor on the base numbers. So we don't want to tell the citizens it's going to cost them $14
Right.
when it might cost them $14.85 or something.
And we've spoken to the Oxford and Blue.
Well, they're already in the contract.
They're already
Yeah,
in.
so it would be,
Okay.
They're doing dumpster service.
because they're considered, you know, they're part of the commercial contract.
Wasn't part of that Oxford, not in the city?
That's correct.
A very small piece on the very, very end. It's not, I think it's only the last 2 houses. Any other questions related to sanitation, sir? No? Okay. And then we got the first public hearing for the budgets. Do we get the last minute changes in? the way they're
Yes, sir.
supposed to?
And they weren't content related as much, and so if I may, can I say a couple of things about the budget? So, and I've had a conversation with our city attorney to make sure that I'm clear on this, that tonight's public hearing and first reading of the ordinance marks the official, the city handing the budget to the mayor and council. So from this point forward, any changes that are made, and I'm not talking about spelling errors, any changes that are made to the content of the budget can certainly be made. They just would have to be recognized during the public meeting, either tonight or at the next council meeting. And that would have to be entered into the public record. So I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable to understand, up until the passing of the budget, you can make changes, but starting tonight after the first reading, those changes have to be discussed in public and recorded in the minutes.
So if you want to make the city clerk's life miserable, now's the time to start.
Now's the time.
All right. Any other questions related to the numbers, budgets, anything? Okay. And I think that's going to be that.
Mayor, do we need to discuss at all how you anticipate calling for the sanitation decision? Will you just ask every member to
I'll
give
wing it.
their, okay,
I mean,
very good. All right.
we got the proposals, we know it's, you know,
Okay.
somewhere in there, and we'll see.
Okay.
We're about 2 minutes early, so let's see if we can pull something out of the sanitation section here.
Should we address the every now and then question that was posed at the last council meeting?
Probably.
Okay. So when we look at the information that was submitted by Advanced and Latham, every now and then means once a month per resident. When we look at Waste Pros, every now and then, I believe it's two times a month is that what they would consider to be every now and then. Up to twice per month is allowed. I did not get a response from Republic, so anyway, that's the answer to your last meeting's question about every now and then, or once in a while.
You can ask this question. Yeah, right behind this, the city sets, go to 2 budget hearings, right? This one, and we'll have another one. Public's welcome to have any comments they wish. At some point, city council, at the next meeting, will vote one way or the other. And behind that, the county has a tax digest. Tax digest appears to be a little bit richer than it was last year. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Amy?
Yes, we are expecting that the appraisals were up this year, so we are expecting to collect more revenue. But with that said, which means that I guess the millage rate, or it's gonna appear that we're increasing taxes, but in reality, the millage rate is gonna stay the same for the most part.
Well, it should drop.
It should, huh?
It should drop.
Well, yeah, well, yeah, we'll drop it. I guess we'll have to drop it. Yeah, it'll roll back. And technically, yeah, it'll roll back or whatever. But the one thing with that is that the local option sales taxes are gonna come in lower than expected this year. So, which kind of impacts that as well. Because right now, we're at about 1.3 million. We were supposed to collect 2.1 million, so we're about $713,000 short. And we only have about three more months to go. And so we're not gonna reach that additional $713,000 this year and stuff like that, so. that can also kind of impact, your property tax as well, the rollback and stuff, so.
Well, and before we start, I mean, everyone is aware that this country pretty much was shut down. So your hotels are operating anywhere between 25 and 45%. Your restaurants are at 65%. That's today, not during the shutdown. Your local option sales tax numbers are down from the state. Remember, the state of Georgia basically is very heavy on sales tax and income tax. You're not paying a whole lot of income tax if you don't have a job. For all those people who collected the money on the unemployment, remember, the state of Georgia is nice enough to tax you on that. So it's not 100% free money. You're gonna have to declare that at the end of the year on your tax returns. But the point being is, just like everyone else, we've got to live within that budget. And our projections were about $1 million loss, just to give you an idea. So somewhere in that scope of service, we've got to, and I think we have successfully done it in this budget. May not be everybody's cup of tea, you may not have gotten everything that you wanted, but at least you can look your citizen in the eye and say the services are going to be delivered in a manner that you can appreciate without us having to reach into your pocket and take some more of your money. And then we've got to do, a lot of, we've got to pay attention as we go through this next year, because the budget is just that, right? There's fluctuating, we're guessing. I mean, it's an educated guess, but it's a guess. That's what they call it, a budget. But as the thing moves forward, the economy improves, wonderful. If it manages to get worse, hope not, then we have to adjust accordingly. So.
And I think we would want to make sure that the citizens understand that, once that, I mean, of course, we would share it with them now, but according to the state laws, once that first ordinance reading takes place, anybody can come in and review the document. It will be available at City Hall for review for anybody who wants to see it, so.
That being said, call the